Hello, hello, amazing listeners. Have I got a doozy for you today? Isn't that a fun word, doozy? So when I wrote this out, I had planned for it to be a mini episode, meaning no editing, stuff like that. But there is so much amazing information in this. And as I was writing, it just kept coming out. And I feel like it might be a full episode. This is important stuff. So right now, as I'm recording this, it's the middle of November and things are running well. But let's be real, chaos can hit at any time, right? Chaos hits and it can be personal, it can be business. There's so many different forms that this can take. But that's exactly what happened to me in March of this year. Well, to be honest, I've had a little bit of chaos a few times this year for different reasons, between kids' school stuff and website stuff and hard drive stuff and all that yay fun stuff that goes on in a business. But what I'm going to share with you today can help you when something goes wrong or you need help specifically with your website. In March of this year, my WordPress was automatically updated and one of the plugins on my photography website was no longer working. It was not functional at all. It just shut down completely. So what exactly does this mean? Well, new software was rolled out to improve several things on WordPress, which is the software that I run my website on, all of my websites on. And in those improvements, one of the plugins that I use specifically for my photography website was shut down completely. For anyone that has no idea what I'm talking about, let me put it into everyday smartphone terms. When the operating system software for your phone updates, sometimes there are apps that no longer work properly. And that is exactly what happened to me with my website. So WordPress was updated, one of the plugins just stopped working. Now, since then, the plugin has been updated to match that, and it is working now. However, this happened in March, and as you can imagine, I was frustrated. Add to the fact that this was my photography website, and the plugin that shut down was all of my slideshows that show off all of my galleries, including the slideshow on my main homepage, were now dead. Yeah, it was definitely a frustrating few days. I went back and forth with support, trying to figure out what had happened, and eventually ended up figuring it out myself and fixing it by doing entirely new galleries in a different plugin. Now, I realize that some of you are probably thinking, holy crap, Brooke, I would not even know how to do that. And that's totally fine, because we're going to talk about a plan today to help you if something like this happens. Now, setting up new galleries on a website is daunting itself. But I had those set aside in a system that I'll actually be sharing in Spiff Up Your Site, which is my course for all things website related and web strategy. But today's tool was immensely helpful throughout this entire process, because if I had to completely redo my website all over again, I could. And I could throw up a quick website in about 2 hours and I wouldn't be out for several days or weeks trying to figure out what had happened. And this was especially important because, as you know, I am a boudoir photographer. I work with women to capture sexy photos, empowering photos, awesome, intimate photos, and a lot of times brides will come to me before their wedding. Well, when is wedding season? May through November-ish, depending on where you're at. In Colorado, which is where I'm at, wedding season is usually May to November, which means my peak season for bridal boudoir is March and April. And this is happening to me in March. All of my website traffic, no one was seeing any of my photos. So freaking frustrating. So today's tool is magic. It is amazing. And what is this magic tool? You may be asking. I can feel it now. It is, very simply put, a website blueprint. Specifically, a visual website blueprint. Now, this is not to be confused with a sitemap. Okay, sitemaps are files that you embed into your website that have information about the pages, the videos, the other files on your site, and the relationship between all of them and all of those resources. And typically, sitemaps are created within whatever software you're using for your website, or you can use a plugin. Yoast does sitemaps, which is a very, very, very effective SEO plugin. And there are several different ways to create a sitemap. Sitemaps, though, are search engine specific, and that is not what we are talking about today. So please do not confuse the website blueprint with a sitemap. So today we are going to talk about a website blueprint, a plan for your website, including the menus, the pages, the links, and if you really want to get fancy, the SEO keywords for each page and the goal or call to action for every single page on your website. So, if you're freaking out right now, take a deep breath and let me calm your mind because I am going to walk you through all of this. It won't take you long to do, probably about an hour to create it. And you can listen to this episode in its entirety first so that you kind of understand what I'm talking about before you carve out some time in your calendar to make this happen. A website blueprint will help you to see your website layout on a much bigger scale and to see the big picture and to really look at things from the eyes of your ideal client, from the eyes of the people who are visiting your website who don't know the back end of your business. And that is so important and something that so many people miss. So, in order to help you with this, I have created a free download for you with a copy of my own personal photography website blueprint so that you can see the layout, and there's a tutorial video included on how to create one and what to do. To get the freebie, you can either go to the show notes for this episode, which will be at businessstraightedup.com/027, or you can head on over to businessstraightedup.com/website blueprint to grab your copy. So first, let's talk about why you need a blueprint for your website, because there are definitely a few reasons. First of all, it gives you the chance to really plan out what goes where on your website. Which pages link to which menus point to which pages, and where each gallery or example of your work goes. This can make life so much easier when you're actually building your website, or if, God forbid, you have to start over from scratch because of something that happened. Kind of like my situation in March. It was not easy to do, but I had put into place the systems that meant that I wasn't out several weeks and several clients. Second, this allows you to outsource your web design very, very easily to someone else. Now, you all know that I'm a huge fan of outsourcing the things that you don't want to do in your business. I have a team. I love my team. They help me out so much. And quite frankly, they have strengths that I don't have. And I want to hire them to capitalize on those strengths because I don't want to do those things that I'm not good at. But as a savvy business owner, it is absolutely essential to have a basic and foundational understanding of what you're outsourcing. So I outsource Instagram. Instagram is not my strength, and I'm okay with that, but I do know how it works. If you are an SEO student of mine, you know that I say this all the time. It is absolutely 100% awesome to outsource your SEO, but you need to have a foundation so that you understand what is going on in all of these systems. I cannot even tell you the number of times that I've heard horror stories from photographers and business owners who were scammed by someone that talked above their understanding, only to take literally tens of thousands of dollars from them and disappear. The most recent horror story I heard, someone was out $12,000. I am all for outsourcing, but having a baseline to work from is just good business. It's smart. Including your brand board with the blueprint when you hand it off to someone gives them a ton of information to work with. It gives them all the fonts and the colors and all this good stuff. It saves time for them, for you, and usually when you're hiring someone else, if it saves time, it saves you money too. So this is a big tool that you can put into place to help you outsource it if that's what you want to do. And finally, reason number 3 that you need a website blueprint is that it breaks down your website into manageable chunks. How many of you think about redoing your website and want to bang your head on the table because it sounds so damn overwhelming? Yes, I totally feel you. There are certain pieces of our businesses that can be so overwhelming, and having this blueprint means that you can break it down. Work on one piece at a time. Get one page up at a time. This is especially helpful for moms, caretakers, or anyone else that only has a few hours to work every day instead of a full day to do these things. Maybe you have a day job and you can only work on things for a few hours at night. When you have a limited amount of time, like I do, thank you, preschool schedule of 3 hours a day. Who said that? Being able to chunk these large tasks is crazy valuable. I wanted to add another quick reason that kind of fits with all of these 3 reasons that I've already mentioned, but it's also a separate reason, so we'll just call it the bonus. A website blueprint is not specific to any software. So why does this matter? Why do you care? Because if you decide to move your website later, you already have everything planned out, and you can quickly and easily create whatever you need in a new platform. Boom, mic drop, right? That alone is reason enough to create one of these blueprints for your business. Am I right? Right. Okay. So, are you sold? You ready to figure out how to make one? You're like, yes, Brooke, I'm all in. Now what the hell do I do? I think you will be surprised by the level of ease. This really isn't as crazy hard as it sounds. So, what are your first steps? First, I want you to download the blueprint and tutorial video where I can actually walk you through the how-to on the website itself. You can also draw it out, so don't worry if you don't have a computer handy. For me personally, I like to have everything electronically so I can share with my team. So even if I draw it out, I'll take a picture of it and put it into Evernote because it's searchable and I can then find it. So figure out what works best for you, grab that freebie and video. And if you need a reminder of where to get that, it's at businessstraightedup.com/website blueprint. So I want to put in a quick note here about the freebie. There's a download that's a PDF file. It will give you my personal blueprint and a video on how to use it. And yes, you are getting access to my complete photography website blueprint. You can use it for any creative business. It's not photography specific, but you can look at mine to figure it out. Yes, you could copy it completely, but should you? Absolutely not. First, because it's shady AF. Just don't do it. But second, because you are not me. You have your own special sauce, that gift that you have that only you were given to change the world. This gift is what makes you, you. And to copy someone else's exactly does absolutely nothing for you. Use this as a resource, build your own, check off all the boxes, and kick ass when it comes to getting your work out into the world. There are people who need the gift that only you were given, so let it shine in your unique way. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming with step number 2 on creating your own website blueprint. So step 1, go get the blueprint, the tutorial, the freebie. And step 2, I want you to make a list of all of the pages that you want to have on your website. Yes, even if they're not there yet. Maybe you saw that a friend has a page for a privacy policy and you really want to implement that, but you haven't had time to do it yet. Write it down. Quick note, this is not for blog posts. This is not a place to brainstorm blog post ideas. This is just for concrete pages that you will be referencing all the time, pages that you can send to your clients. Write down all of the pages that you want to have on your website. Here are some examples. We got homepage, your about page, contact, testimonials, investment, galleries, specific types of galleries, before and afters, proofing, etc. Maybe you want a full page for your Instagram feed with one of the plugins that does that. Add it. Maybe you want a page specific to one group of people because you really want to highlight that work. Add it. Make a full list of all of the pages that you want to have on your website. Extra credit when you're done with this list, go through and highlight the ones that you already have, just so that it's easy to see. So by now you have a long list of pages that you want to have on the website. And if you did the extra credit, it's all highlighted and pretty and colorful, right? The third step is to start mapping them out. Will you have a main menu for each page at the top of your site? Or will it just be a page that is linked from other pages? I do have pages on my website that are not necessarily linked in the main menus, and that's cool too, because people will go down the rabbit hole of your pages. Do you have a landing page for one specific type of service that feeds others? For instance, if you're a wedding photographer, do you have a main landing page for weddings? Because you have other types under your menu. But then under weddings, you have mountain weddings or city weddings. For me, I am a boudoir photographer, but I actually have 6 different boudoir galleries on my website. That's crazy huge. I have 6. So think about what would be easiest for your potential clients to navigate. And I have done this step in one of 2 ways. First, I've taken the actual piece of paper that I wrote on and cut each piece so that I can move them around like a puzzle. And I've also used MindMeister, which is what I actually recommend and what I found to be easiest. It's a free software online that allows you to map things out and connect them and move them around. Whatever way you choose, start mapping things out and putting together this website blueprint. Final step, save this blueprint somewhere that it's easy to find and reference, like Evernote or your computer or Asana or whatever you prefer. Some quick bonus steps that I'm not going to go too far into here because I really am trying to keep this as a mini episode, but damn, this is some good stuff. So important. Bonus steps, real quick. Choose a call to action for every page on your website and write it out on the blueprint with that page. And you can also choose an SEO keyword for every page on your website and write it out on the blueprint for that page. Once this blueprint is created, what the heck do you do with it, right? Well, you can set aside an hour every week to update and change things one at a time. Just do one page at a time. Or maybe this week you're updating all of the menus to be correct. Or maybe this week you're adding in a page that you've always wanted to include, but you didn't have the time. Now you have a plan. You have something set out that tells you what needs to be changed, what needs to be updated. And having that website blueprint will make life so much easier for you in so many ways. And it will break down something that can be so overwhelming and daunting. So, are you ready? Your action steps right now to start putting this into place are first to go and download that freebie at businessstraightup.com/website blueprint and watch the video tutorial. There's a link to it in the PDF where I can actually show you how to set this up. And next, go into the Business Straight Up community on Facebook. If you're not there yet, why the heck not? Come on in. It's at businessstraightup.com/community and share your website blueprint. I want to see it and I would love to help you flesh it out. Your website blueprint is a living, breathing document in your business. It will change often, and that's okay. That's a good thing. This is not a set in stone kind of thing that will never change once it's done. You will see new things that you want to implement, set up new strategies, and remove things that are no longer serving your business anymore. This blueprint will change often and can be a reference at those slower times of the year when you want to revisit some things to decide how to move your business forward. I hope that this helps demystify a huge step that so many people miss in setting up their websites. Not only is it helpful for setting up your website from the beginning, but it's also for all of the other reasons that we had talked about. You have your marching orders, download your freebie, share so I can help. And if you loved this episode, can I ask you to do one more thing? We'll just make it an even 3, right? If you're someone that likes to help others, I would so appreciate an iTunes review. Head on over to iTunes and leave a review so that others can find the information they need and we can reach out and impact more business owners. This information is so important. Your website is your handshake to the world, and if you are not spending at least a little bit of time to make sure that it's where you want it to be, you are doing yourself a huge disservice in your business. I hope that this helps. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me in the Business Straight Up community. I know it can be scary to ask your question in front of everyone else, but chances are if you have that question, someone else does too, so you'd be helping someone else out too. Have an amazing day, and I can't wait to work with you.